Hey guys, how's it going? So in my live stream last week, basically I went over my sort of routine and plan for the next month, but because it was a live stream, I didn't have that much specific stuff I wanted to say, and I had a few questions, so I didn't say it as succinctly as I would have wanted, and there was a few details that I missed out that I want to cover in today's video. So what I'm going to be going through today is a brief overview of my routine for the next month, and probably I'm going to keep up something similar for the upcoming months as well, because I think it's working really well for me so far. And then I'm going to share with you a few recommendations for YouTube channels, and also what I think the benefits are of what I'm doing now. So I'll start with a quick overview. So basically my overall arching structure at the moment is I wake up in the morning and I have 45 minutes of focused study time, which is my concentrated time towards the language. So this is typically spent either learning characters or dissecting dialogues or something like that. I then have 25 minutes to and back from work a day on the tram, which I spend doing most of my SRS reps on Anki. I have 25 minutes walking to and back from work to the tram stop every day, which I spend kind of semi-active listening, and I'll talk a little bit about that in more detail in a second. And when I get back after work, I am simply just trying to immerse and enjoy as much content as I can. So when I'm going to talk about the routine, I'm not going to talk about the last bit, which is just general immersion. I'm always trying to watch as much TV as I can or play video games. I think I'll talk about that more in future videos, but today I'm going to talk mostly about what I'm doing in the focus time, and that also has knock-on effects to the other two time periods in terms of the tram, doing SRS reps, and the walking as well. So essentially, in a nutshell, what I'm doing is I'm picking dialogues off YouTube and going through them on LingQ, going through one dialogue a day for 7 days, and then I'm switching to characters and focusing on that for 7 days, and then going back and doing YouTube videos again for a week, and doing kind of like a week on, a week off. So quickly, before I start and go into a bit more detail on that, I want to show you some of the YouTube channels I've been using, which I've been finding really good so far. So yeah. So my first recommendation is the YouTube channel's name is STR Network, and the name of the show is called The Night Show. And here you can see, here's the host, Brian, and here you can see there's a lot of episodes that are out, a few every week, and the vast majority have subtitles. I think they upload the vast majority of subtitles, but they can take a few days after the original upload before they're there. But because this is a talk show, they've got a really natural dialogue. It covers a range of topics, and I think it's really, really natural, and the audience is quite young, so I think it's very fresh and how generally young people would speak in Taiwan now. And if it covers a range of quite interesting topics, the host's quite funny as well, so this is, I really, really recommend this one. The only downside, I think, is that the videos can be, a lot of them, quite lengthy. See, this one's up to a quarter of an hour, and because it's covering such a range of topics, the difficulty from video to video changes a lot. But I found, at least because I'm a beginner now, picking the shorter videos, like this one's 4 minutes for example, tends to make it a lot easier. Here's the second YouTube channel I'm going to recommend, and here you can see the name here, and it's called, I think it's called Ray Do English. So this is a YouTube channel basically teaching Chinese, I guess mostly from Taiwan, how to speak English. So a lot of their videos, basically they speak 95% Chinese throughout the whole video, and they translate one or probably a couple of words from Chinese into English to tell you how to translate, say, more difficult words or niche expressions, or how to translate Chinese idioms and stuff like that. So what I like about this is, because it's all in Chinese virtually, you get a lot of listening practice, and it's very contemporary Mandarin spoken in Taiwan. So it's, again, I think it's really good, authentic listening practice. And because they're translating odd words into English, I think, one, it gives you more context for the overall video, which makes it easier for me to understand. And two, you can learn some cool phrases, because whatever they're teaching the English words of, you can learn the Chinese of and kind of do it in reverse. And you also get listening practices. And the final YouTube channel I want to recommend, and I think this one's really, really good for beginners who are looking to get into more authentic content like myself, especially if you're into the niche, which is RPG games, because this channel here is the Chinese name Worlds of Warcraft. So you can see here they've got a lot of cinematic trailers, and again, a lot of the cinematics have subtitles in Chinese that you can see here. And the thing I like about this is because I think the cinematics are supposed to be very impactful and dramatic, all the characters don't actually speak that fast. So I'm going to play you a short clip now.
谢谢，要不是你，贝恩就没命了。
我不能袖手旁观。
我也是，我不能辜负他。
So hopefully you can see from that is that they speak very clearly, I think, and if you're looking to get into more interesting content, if you're into gaming, that's not too difficult, and you're looking to kind of like your first steps into native material, I think this is a great start. So that's the YouTube channels I've been looking at so far. Now on to a bit more detail about what I've actually been doing. So every morning for those 45 minutes, I import the specific YouTube video into LingQ. So I forgot to say earlier, 15 minutes before I have my 45 minutes focus time in the morning, while I'm eating breakfast, I listen to whatever the dialogue is of the day on loop to try and pick out as much as I can first. So typically I've listened a few times at this point already. So the first thing I do is read through slowly and look up all the unknown characters and words I don't know. Then I read and listen, and there's a 5-second back button on LingQ that I use to rewind if I have to look up any of the words that I've forgotten. And I just do that a few times over, and then eventually I listen through slowly and repeat a few times and rewind and see if I can understand everything just listening. If I don't, refer back to the transcript and then try again and so on. Through this, so at the end of the day, I've studied a certain video per day. I add that video to my playlist on the LingQ. So then across the period of 7 days, I've got a total of 7 videos. So when I'm studying dialogue 1, I listen to that dialogue for my walking, commuting, work, and generally all of my semi-active listening, I'm listening to that one dialogue. By the end of the week, I've been listening to the dialogues each individually quite a lot, and I've got about 7 videos in a playlist by the end of the week. So then, this is when I switch over to characters, and I aim in my focus time in the morning, going through about 20 to 30 characters from High a day. What I do here, and this is what I really enjoy about what I'm doing at the moment, is because I've then built up a library of 7 videos on LingQ that I now have on my phone with the full audio, I can then listen to the playlist A, while I'm eating breakfast in the morning, and B, when I'm walking to and back from work. So this basically allows me to study dialogues for a week while I let my reps on Anki die down, and then once I've built up a week's worth of videos, I can then use those 7 videos for immersion in my passive time, and I get an extra week's worth of exposure through that while I'm studying characters. And then at the end of the second week studying characters, I clear my playlist on LingQ and start over. So then when I go back to doing dialogues, my Anki reviews per day start to drop down a bit. So that's basically what I've been doing. So a quick recap then. I do a dialogue a day per LingQ until I have 7 videos in a playlist. And when I'm going through a dialogue a day, I listen to that specific dialogue on the given day. And then in week 2, when I switch to doing characters, I listen to the whole playlist and try to keep getting exposed as much as I can to all of the content I studied the week before. So what I think the benefits are for this then, I think there's 3 main ones that I think I'm mainly taking from at the moment. So the first one is that doing it in week-long short bursts like this, I think 1 allows me to keep focused because I am doing the same thing every day across a period of a week, and I've already decided in advance before that, so it removes decision fatigue. But because it's only a week, it still enables me to switch up my routine and introduce a bit of variation and introduce a bit of fresh blood every now and again. And I think that is a good balance for me of keeping it fresh, but also be able to reiterate and get a solid routine. And benefit 2, I think, because I'm doing a week of adding new cards to Anki and then a week off, I'm finding my Anki reps aren't getting that high, and it's letting it, in the week I'm doing dialogues, is a chance for my Anki reps to drop down a little bit and to get on top of the reps I've built up from the week before. And finally, my third reason I like this is because in my old way before, when I was traditionally doing a dialogue a day and just kept on moving on to the next and the next one, this one has a bit of extra reviewing, so by the end of the week I get in and I have my playlist built up. I have an extra week of listening to all of those 7 dialogues extensively throughout the next week, and I feel like that added repetition really helps me retain more information. That's basically it. So let me know if you found this useful. Let me know what your guys' routine is at the moment. If you have any more specific questions about anything I've said, or just any questions about language learning in general, please do give me a comment. I do read and reply to all of them. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.